Ukraine, on the corner of Otamans from Ukraine, AZAT, Usenaliev.
So coming to the ring then we do have, of course, AZAT, Usenaliev. Now, interesting character, Usenaliev. I don't think he's a great traveller because he's lost both of his away bouts to both Russia and Mexico, but he is unbeaten at home. And he's one of those unranked foes, not in the top division anyway, and he's up against the #1 flyweight in the world by the name of Yosbany VEITIA. He's already qualified, of course, for the Rio Olympic Games and got a bronze medal at the 2013 World Championships. So a very, very decent little fighter, VEITIA. Seen him many times. And Usenaliev, well, what can we expect of him? He'll give it a good go, of course, as indeed they always do. And as you saw there, Usenaliev has won 3 and lost 2. Don't forget the 2 defeats were on foreign soil, so he's not a great traveller.
En la esquina de los Domadores de Cuba, on the corner of, from Cuba, Yosbany VEITIA.
So Yosbany VEITIA then coming to the ring. Great little fighter. I say fighter, he's a boxer. The #1 ranked flyweight in the world. And in case you're wondering, Domadores means tamers, lion tamers, in fact. So VEITIA up against a man who's won 3 and lost 2 of his 5 contests so far. And as you can see there, 6 on the spin for the #1, VEITIA Yosbany. Now, I've got to say that the rankings don't really mean a great deal because we saw recently, in fact, very highly ranked boxers getting beaten by lowly ranked boxers. So, you know, sometimes it means a great deal and other times it doesn't. It all depends, of course, on the individual.
Primer combate de la noche, división 52 kilogramos. The first bout of the night, 52 kilograms division. En la esquina de los Otamans de Ucrania, on the corner of Otamans of Ukraine, AZAT, Usenaliev. En la esquina de los Domadores de Cuba, on the corner of Tamers from Cuba, Yosbany VEITIA.
So here we go then, round 1 of a scheduled 5 threes. Yosbany VEITIA, an overwhelming favourite here against AZAT Usenaliev.
Bien, amables televidentes, reciban nuestro saludo cordial. Basimic va a trabajar como tercer hombre en el ring.
One of 2, in fact, in the family that referee boxing. He has a brother as well.
Importantísimo el tope para los ucranianos.
So round 1.
Tercer lugar, pero tienen 2 puntos por arriba
so
de
VEITIA
México,
then, the southpaw in the white shorts.
Así que muy importante, sobre todo
and a very useful one at that.
Vamos al primer asalto.
And these Ukrainians, you know, you can never write them off. I have a suspicion that the Cubans won't be bothered on the scorecard at the end of this, but, you know, you never can tell. They are fully 17 points in front of Ukraine, or Cuba, in the rankings. And don't forget, of course, the 2 #1s, which looks like it's Kazakhstan and Cuba, will go forward to the semi-finals in this particular tournament. And #2 and #3 will box each other to go forward. And the #2 and 3, by the way, Russia and Ukraine in Group A, and Azerbaijan and Venezuela currently in Group B. There is a chance that Mexico could overtake the Ukrainians, and Italy could overtake the Venezuelans in the other group. But of course, that all remains to be seen. So back to the action here then. And we often see the Cubans make a reasonably slow start just to get a look at their opponents, see what they're made of. So a reasonable start, I'd say, for this Ukrainian by the name of Usenaliev. But they've got a very proud tradition, the Cubans, of all sport, in fact. But they do love their boxing. And they are very good at it, too. Ukraine, of course, once upon a time would have been under the banner of the USSR. And to represent the USSR, you had to be very, very good, because it was enormous. Now, of course, they're all satellite countries, independent countries. And one thing I have noticed, of course, in this particular tournament is how difficult it is to get a win away from home. Although it's not unheard of. Well, VEITIA now beginning to get into this one after a pretty of a ragged start. Nice body shot there from Yosbany, VEITIA, and well, ultimately I don't think there's a great deal between them there. Of course, there are no draws in this level of boxing. And it's a real hybrid as well, you know, it's a mixture of amateur and professional boxing. They do get paid, and quite considerably as well, some of them. I think the highest fee, in fact, I recall, on an annual basis is $310,000. Well, first round there, in fact, did go VEITIA's way, although I must say I didn't think there was much in it. So round two coming up. Now, interestingly, that may well have been Usenaliev's best round, and it may be the best round he's going to get. Don't forget, you know, as I said previously, VEITIA, in fact, most of the Cubans tend to start reasonably slowly and work their way into a bout. And if that is the case here, Usenaliev, well, he hasn't got much of a chance. He's going to get himself absolutely thrashed here. Because, and the reason I say that, of course, is that he may have well have won the first round, or indeed levelled it at least, but all judges went against him. And it will only get worse, I suspect, here for AZAT Usenaliev. I did mention, of course, that factor previously that Usenaliev is not a great traveller. He doesn't tend to win on the road. And up against this Cuban, of course, well, even if he was fighting at home, he'd find it difficult. They'll get all of these matches are home and away. Well, that was a skimming right hand there from VEITIA. And of course, boxing on home soil makes a massive difference, you know. Good body shot again there from VEITIA, followed by a lovely jab to the forehead. And with a population of just over 8 million, you know, it's incredible to think that the sporting prowess that infests Cuba is quite amazing. And of course, since the United States have appeared to have relaxed whatever embargoes they had on the Cubans, I think we can see a great deal more of them in the future. And not just in boxing. Cracking round there for VEITIA, won that one very clearly. So VEITIA, busy and accurate, and of course with a good range of different punches here. Well, all three judges, once again, they're going VEITIA's way. So round three it is. So just to remind you who we're looking at, coming out of the red corner representing the Cuba Domadores, we have Yosbany VEITIA, the #1 ranked flyweight in the world, up against AZAT Usenaliev, who's an unranked Ukrainian flyweight. Three wins and 2 defeats so far for Usenaliev. But 6 on the spin so far for VEITIA. As you can see there, some fantastic defensive moves there from VEITIA. Yes, it's not enough, is it? The VEITIA should be such a good offensive fighter, but also a cracking defensive fighter as well. And this, by the way, is the only bout that Mick Bassey will be refereeing tonight. They've got half a dozen officials, and only 3 of the 5 judges at ringside will have their score taken and recorded, but they don't know, of course, if they're if they're 3 of the 5. So all 5 judges will be used, but only 3 will be taken notice of. Well, I got to say, VEITIA looks awfully relaxed out there. A couple of decent shots there, I thought, from Usenaliev. So a mixture then of aggression and defensive mastery here from VEITIA. So last few seconds then of round 3. Another one in the bag here, I suspect, for VEITIA. Yeah, well, at least for me anyway. I thought this young fella, Usenaliev, deserved a share of the opening round, but all three judges went against him. And that's one of the reasons, of course, that I said it was very difficult to win away from home. Not impossible, don't get me wrong. Does happen. In fact, when you consider that the Cubans have not lost a match yet. They've only lost 7 bouts in all the contests that they've been in. Ukraine, well, they've lost 30. Well, now that's really interesting. Really interesting. One of the judges there actually gave that round to Usenaliev. How odd. Maybe it was a mistake. Round 4. Don't forget, of course, as this tournament drags on or wears on or gallops on, the lads get bigger. We go lightweight after this, followed by welter, light heavy and super heavyweight. So just a reminder that Yosbany VEITIA, the Cuban flyweight in the white shorts, up against this Ukrainian by the name of AZAT Usenaliev. So far, VEITIA is in charge. They're just reminding VEITIA to keep his head up. And one thing you can't do, of course, is dip below the waist of your opponent. And one of the big things, of course, about the World Series of Boxing is the ability to qualify for the Olympic Games via this route. And don't forget, of course, VEITIA has done that. And I think, if I remember rightly, I've done all 6 of his contests in this particular season, of season 5, week 14. This is the last week of this particular part of the tournament. It then goes to the knockout stages. Don't forget, of course, they do box over 2 legs. But the top 2 teams will go straight forward to the semi-final. And they will await either Russia, Ukraine, Azerbaijan or Venezuela. Depends on the group, of course. There is an outside chance that Italy could creep into Group B and Mexico into Group A. Well, inside the last half minute now of this 4th round. One more to go after this, of course. I'm just trying to think, really, what Usenaliev can possibly do here, and I just can't find an answer. He's up against such a talented boxer here. And there's another round in the bag there for VEITIA. Well, I've got a 40-37 in his favour. A couple of right hands there from Usenaliev, did get through. But once again, one of the judges there went against VEITIA. Very odd. So here we go then, 5th and final round, and it won't decide this by any means, but you know, if Usenaliev can find a knockout shot, well, then he's in business. the chances of that happening are so remote, because we've seen VEITIA take whacks in the past, and they haven't really bothered him. And I don't believe that Usenaliev carries a massive punch either. And one of the great features here about VEITIA is the fact that he's so relaxed. And without trying to be rude about AZAT Usenaliev, I suspect, you know, VEITIA has much, much harder sparring than this on a regular basis. But one thing, of course, that he doesn't get is that awful worry that boxers tend to carry around with them about what will happen on fight night. It's different in the gym. So we're approaching the final minute now of round 5, the final round. I think our referee Mick Bassey said one single word in the entire contest, and that was, of course, when Yosbany VEITIA ducked a wee bit too low. Well, that's the second time, or possibly the third. It's been a very clean contest, this one, and of course well contested, as you would imagine. We have two very proud boxing nations, these. But it looks like a pretty convincing win to start the night off for Yosbany VEITIA. Well, I've scored it 50-46 in favour of Yosbany VEITIA. And a cracking crowd here. At 8:10, by the way, there was virtually no one here. And then all of a sudden, bingo, the place filled up. And a lot of people missed the dancing and the singing. But a lot of the crowd that were, in fact, most of the people that were here were loving jigging along with the music. So a decent effort from AZAT Usenaliev, but not enough. Here we go then for the official verdict. One or two odd scores there.
Resultado del combate, división 52 kilogramos, decisión 52 kilogramos división. Juez 1, Yosbany, 49-46, 48-46. Juez 2, Yash 2, 50-45, 50-45. Juez 3, Yash 3, 49-46, 48-46. El vencedor por puntos de winner by point, por votación unánime y unánime decisión de los Domadores.
So there you are then, Yosbany VEITIA declared the winner. Two judges had it 48-46 and one had it a massive 50-45, which is 5 rounds to 0. I had it 50-46. I thought, as I said previously, that Usenaliev deserved a share of the opening round, but that, I'm afraid, is all I could give him. Great win for the Cubans to start the night. And you'll get lots of people. One of them shake his hand, give him a kiss, give him a cuddle on the way back to the dressing room. That's the way it is. See what I mean? And it can take a long time, you know, to get back there. So, VEITIA is declared the winner, and he got that by a unanimous decision.